In this lesson we're going to adjust our lighting to make it look a bit more dramatic. So this is the lighting we've got at the moment, and it's a bit too flat, so there's not enough shadows going on and there's not enough specular, so that the highlights on this cheese, for example, and maybe when we do the knife, there's not enough highlight there. So what we're going to do is take our key light and move it to the back of our object, and we're going to turn down our fill light. Remember, our fill light is these two dome lights here, well, the one dome light and the one environment map that we've got. So what I'm going to do is just make sure I've kept an image here by pressing this button here, and then I'm going to go and just adjust the lighting position. So if we just go to shaded mode and turn on light here, you can see where it is. So let's just go into the perspective here, zoom out a little bit, and our camera is on this side, there it is, and there's our area light there. So I'm just going to use the move tool, and I'm going to move it over here, just rotate it around, okay, something like that, and I'll go back to my shot cam here. So now you can see it's behind the objects, and what we need to do is turn down our fill light. So let's just see what the effect has. It's just updating here. Okay, so you can see that was before and this is after, and now you can see there's some nice highlight going on here. And so I'm just going to adjust the position slightly. I had a look at this earlier, so I've saved a position. So I'm going to take this and just apply my preset here. So it's just rotated a little bit. Let's turn this off. Okay, so this is what we've got. And now what I'm going to do is turn down my fill light. So what I'll do is turn off this environment here. So this environment is giving out light at the moment. We'd rather have our light give off light, so this sky dome give off light. This one was just for the reflections and the refractions. So if we just turn off visible and diffuse, you can see that it's going to get darker. And now we'll just turn up the intensity of our light so that it looks a bit better. So just let this update. Okay, so now you can see that there's darker areas underneath here. I'll just keep that. And now I'm going to turn up my intensity. So if I go to the area light here, and just change the exposure here, and let's just have a look at how that looks. So we just need to boost this a bit, maybe change it to 5. And that's a lot better. Okay, so now you can see that we've got some red light coming through the wine here, and that's passing on to this area here. We've got some highlights here, and when we get our metal going on here, when we adjust our shader, we're going to get some highlights here as well, and that'll look a little bit better. We've got some highlights coming along around here as well, so that's pretty cool. So we can adjust this highlight amount here just so that it doesn't get blown out. Maybe we can turn this down a little bit, maybe just down to maybe 4.5. See how that looks. You could do a region if you want. I want to see the overall scene, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Okay, I'm happy with that. 4.5 is pretty decent, and we'll maybe turn this down a little bit, the highlights on this cubes, on these cheese cubes, and so it doesn't get blown out. But if we just compare between the before and the after, you can see what I mean. It's basically, this is basically lit completely, and this one is from behind, so it just looks a bit more interesting. You've got some backlighting going on, so it's highlighting the sort of subsurface scattering here. We've got some specular going on, so that's what I'm going to have. If you don't want that, you don't have to have that. You can do it any way you want to. If you want to turn up your fill light so it's a bit brighter on this side, that's totally up to you. I just wanted those shadows there just to give a bit more contact and to define the objects a bit more. So I'm going to save it there. So in this lesson we've changed the position of our key light so that the objects are backlit,